If your transmission is slipping between gears or slamming into place so hard it feels like you got hit from behind, then you might have an electrical problem with a tiny component called a pressure control solenoid. The diagnostic trouble code P0778 means your powertrain control module has detected an electrical malfunction in transmission pressure control solenoid B. This is a common issue for many vehicles with automatic transmissions, whether you drive a Ford or a Toyota or even a heavy-duty truck like a Duramax. Most transmissions have several of these solenoids, which act like electric gates to direct fluid pressure to the clutches and bands that change your gears. The computer monitors your vehicle speed and engine load to decide exactly when to open these gates to provide the right pressure at the right time. When solenoid B has an electrical fault, the computer can no longer manage that fluid pressure properly, and it triggers the check engine light. You might notice the car entering a limp mode where it stays in one gear to protect itself, or you might see the transmission overheating and causing a drop in your fuel economy. This code usually starts as a moderate problem, but it can quickly ruin your entire transmission if you keep driving with it. The causes are often simple things like a defective solenoid or dirty and contaminated fluid, but it can also be a clogged filter or a failing transmission pump. Your first step should be to check the transmission fluid level and look at its color and smell. If the fluid is dark and smells burnt, you need to change it and the filter right away to see if that clears the passages. You should also check your service records to see when the last transmission flush was done. Perform a visual inspection of the wiring harness going to the transmission and look for any melted plastic or corroded pins in the connectors. You can use a digital multimeter to check for continuity and resistance in the circuit. If you find an open or a short with high resistance, the wiring needs to be repaired. However, if the wiring is perfect, but the solenoid is not clicking when commanded by scan tool, then the solenoid itself is likely dead and needs to be replaced. Since this job often involves dropping the transmission pan and working with sensitive hydraulic parts, it is usually best to have a professional transmission shop handle the repair. Getting this fixed now will prevent a total transmission failure and keep your car shifting smoothly for miles to come.